This is John Kohler at DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have a very special treat for you. Today we're going to talk to you about the different Excalibur brand dehydrators. So they come in different shapes and sizes, from the 4-tray model to the 5-tray and the 9-tray. But to make things more confusing, they actually have two versions of the 5-tray and two versions of the 9-tray. This video here today is basically to share with you the shapes and sizes and actually some of the features and the differences between the different dehydrators. So first we're going to go over the different sizes of the dehydrators. Basically over here we have the 4-tray model, then here in the middle we have the 5-tray, and over here we have the 9-tray model. I guess the first thing is the sizes actually vary considerably. And you know, some of these guys actually get rather large. Maybe like this one's the size of a larger microwave, this one's a lot smaller. So that can be a pro and a con. The pro is that it takes less space in your kitchen. The con is it's not going to be able to dehydrate as much food in it. So let's go off with the sizes first. The 4-tray is approximately 6 1/8 inches tall. The 5-tray here is about 8 inches tall. And finally the 9-tray over here is approximately 12 1/8 inch tall. And let's see, next we'll do the width. The width of this model is approximately 13 inches wide on the 4-tray. Approximately 16.5 inches wide on the 5-tray, and once again 16.5 inches wide on the 9-tray. The depth also a little bit different too. All these are basically lined up evenly in the back, including a little outcropping in the back. The 4-tray is 16 inches deep. The 5-tray model comes in at about 18 7/8 inches deep, and once again the 9-tray comes in at about 19 1/8 inches deep. So in my opinion, when you're choosing to select a dehydrator, you want to get the dehydrator that's best going to meet your needs. So, you know, if you're a gardener like myself and I'm standing here in my garden, I have a lot of, especially tomatoes and peppers, to dehydrate in the season. Actually, that's in the summer season. In the winter season right now, I have so many different leafy greens that I could dehydrate to make kale or collard chips, or even just, you know, green powders out of them. So for me, I could never have a large enough dehydrator. I'm always using it and using it to its capacity. That being said, if you're a single person and only have yourself, maybe you could get by with a 4-tray. I mean, if you have a larger family, then maybe you're going to need a larger one. But also, it's going to depend on how much dried and dehydrated foods you want to eat. So all these dehydrators basically operate the same exact way. How they all work is whether you get the 4 or 5 or 9 tray, they have a fan inside the machine with a heating element. The heating element heats up, the fan blows, and it blows the hot air across the food to basically evaporate all the moisture off the food. Once your food is, has a moisture content really low, then you could take it out and you could store it like in a, I like to store mine in mason jars, sealed tightly so no moisture can get in there, because once you dehydrate the food, actually the ambient air, well, depending on where you live, if you live in Vegas, it's probably not going to happen as much, but the ambient air and the moisture in the air will basically absorb back in your food, so your dehydrated food can't spoil unless you store it in basically an airtight container. So I like to use mason jars with tight sealing lids. You can use something like Ziploc bags, and I don't recommend that necessarily. So basically they all operate the same way. Different models have different fans and pull different wattages. So the 4-tray obviously has a smaller fan, the 5-tray has a larger fan, and the 9-tray has the largest fan of all. So the nice thing about the Excalibur dehydrators, unlike many other dehydrators on the market, the Excalibur uses basically horizontal drying. So that means the fan's on the back of the machine, the air basically blows across the machine so that all the basically trays or levels in the machine get even air distribution. The problem is some of the dehydrators on the market actually have the heat source in the bottom and the heat rises up. So as the heat rises up, the moisture is evaporated off the bottom tray, and then, the top trays maybe don't dehydrate quite as fast because they know the air that's moving up now has the moisture in it until that burns off. In addition, the bottom trays tend to get a little bit warmer than the top trays. So with the horizontal airflow in the Excalibur dehydrators, that does not happen. In addition, many dehydrators on the market may not have an adjustable thermostat. So especially if you're into living in raw foods, you may want an adjustable thermostat. The Excaliburs can adjust here. There's a thermostat on every one of the units. They adjust from 85 degrees all the way up to 155 degrees. And basically on the dehydrator, they basically have the recommended settings. So things like beef jerky, you want to, dehydrate at 155 degrees, and things like herbs, you could do at 95. Obviously, if you're into living in raw foods, they recommend 105 degrees. I may go up to 115 degrees on that. So next, we're going to talk about the different sizes of the dehydrators. This over here is the 4 tray. We have, once again, the 5 tray and the 9 tray dehydrator. Now, although the 4 and the 5 tray sounds like 1 tray difference, actually there's a big, huge difference because the tray size is a lot different. And actually, the square foot area of drying space inside the 4 tray is 3.36 square feet. Inside the 5 tray, that's 6.81 square feet. That's pretty much double the space of the smaller unit. And then the 9 tray has 7.79 square feet of drying space. So the 9 tray has the most drying space. And actually, if you calculate it out, dividing the cost of the dehydrator by the square footage, by far the cheapest way to go is the 9 tray in terms of, square feet of drying space. Let's go ahead and open up the machines and show you inside the tray sizes. Both these have the same tray size, and the 4 tray has a smaller tray size. On these machines, this on the 4 tray, the machine basically the door slides up. On these machines, basically the door sits on there on 2 little pegs. So sometimes what happens is, if this isn't on all the way, it could fall off. And sometimes, this is kind of loose, and that is how Excalibur designed it. Because when the dehydrator is running, basically it's pushing air out the back, and air needs to basically come out of the front because that's the moist air that needs to basically get out of the dehydrator, so your food ends up dehydrating and not molding, actually. So there is a little bit of space on here. So let's go ahead and take these doors off. So here's the tray on the 4 tray, and here's the tray on the 5 and the 9 tray. So you can see it's significantly bigger on the 5 and the 9 tray. So in many cases, I don't necessarily recommend the 4 tray unless you really don't have that large of a kitchen or you're like single, because I'll tell you what, once you start dehydrating things, it is kind of fun, and actually they taste pretty good. And well, especially if you're a gardener, you're gonna need the larger tray sizes. So next, let's go over what's included with the dehydrators. With all the dehydrators, you get the basic dehydrator itself, plus you get some accessories with it. The main accessories you get, let's go ahead and open the door on the 5 tray. You're basically going to get the appropriate number of trays with the dehydrator. So on the 5 tray, you're going to get 5 trays. On the 4 tray, you're going to get 4 trays. Of course, they are the smaller size tray. And on the 9 tray, you're going to basically get 9 trays. In addition to the trays, you're going to get the mesh inserts. These are the mesh inserts, and these are for dehydrating most things, that are not too runny or sticky. So you would put the mesh insert on top of the tray, and then you'd basically put what you're dehydrating on top of this. These are actually removable for easy cleaning, and that's what I like about the Excalibur. Really neat. So we're just going to go ahead and put that back in, put this lid back on. So also with the dehydrator, you're going to get this dehydration guide. This is a $6.95 value. This comes with each of the dehydrators, and basically it has recipes for beef jerkies, fruit rolls, dried fruits, vegetables, living foods, herbs and spices, yogurt, and much more. Basically has all the different instructions you'll need in here, and in the back also it has the warranty card. So, once again, I need to let everybody know that DiscountJuicers.com is an authorized Excalibur dealer. If you do purchase a dehydrator from a non-authorized dealer, your warranty may not be valid when you buy the Excalibur dehydrators. Also, I'm proud to say that the Excalibur dehydrators, much like me, are made in America. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the different models of the dehydrators. So on the 4 tray model, they basically have one model, and that's the 2400 model. That one comes in this color right here. This is called a camera black color, and basically it has a 5-year warranty. And I'm not a big fan of the 4 tray because it's actually the worst value of all the dehydrators. The second model they have is the 5 tray model, and this comes in 2 different varieties. This comes in the 2500 model, which is the base variety, and that has a 5-year warranty. And then and that comes only in the camera black also. Then they have a 3500 model in white, and that's what this model is here. This is the 3500 model in white. The 3500 model also comes in the camera black color as well. So the main differences between the 2500 model and the 3500 model are, number one, the warranty. The warranty is double. It goes from 5 years on the 2500 to 10 years on the 3500, and just buying an extended warranty would probably cost you more than the little bit extra in price you're going to pay for the 3500 model. In addition, the 3500 model basically has some upgraded components. So the thermostat on the 3500 model is upgraded and more durable. In addition, the motor and the fan on the motor is basically upgraded and more durable. In addition, the heating element is also upgraded heating element and also more durable. And also the plastic is a more durable plastic. And in addition, it comes with this Preserve It Naturally book. This Preserve It Naturally book basically is about 200 pages of everything actually you ever want to know about dehydrating. It's actually a really good book. Actually talks about dehydrating shrimp and dehydrating fruits and vegetables, preparing and storing and using dehydrated foods. I mean, this is an excellent book and well worth the cost of the upgrade alone, not to mention the warranty and all the upgraded components. So next, let's talk about the Excalibur 9 tray dehydrator. This is the Excalibur 3900 dehydrator, which is basically the upgraded version of the 2900 model dehydrator. First, let's talk about the 2900 model. The 2900 model on the outside appearances look exactly like this machine right here. They look identical. The only differences are basically half the warranty. The warranty is 5 years, and there's just standard components inside the machine. Once again, we're going to switch to the 3900 model, which is right here, and that once again you have the choice of colors. It comes in a white or a camera black, and once again, like the 5 tray 3500 model 5 trays, all upgraded components. You have the upgraded thermostat, the upgraded motor, the upgraded heating element, the upgraded plastics, and the 10-year instead of 5-year warranty on the 3900 model. In addition, you also get the Preserve It Naturally book. So in my opinion, the 3000 series, meaning the 3500 or the 3900 models, are always a better deal than the 2000 series, mainly because number one, the warranty is twice as long. You get upgraded components that are actually going to be, last longer and more durable. And also you get this book, and this book is definitely worth the extra money because you're going to learn everything you ever want to know and then some about dehydration. So the last thing I want to talk about today are the non-stick sheets that you can get as an additional add-on with your Excalibur dehydrator. So here we have what's called a PrimaFlex sheet, and these PrimaFlex sheets are basically solid sheets. As you saw earlier, each of the dehydrators come with the mesh sheets. So these mesh sheets actually have holes in them so you can see through. The problem with the mesh sheets is that if you try to dehydrate liquids in there, you put the liquids on, they're just going to fall through and it's going to make a mess. So that's where these solid sheets or the PrimaFlex sheets come in. You basically would just take the tray and put your mesh sheet down on it, followed by your non-stick sheet, lie right on it. So now you can dehydrate things that are runny and gooey, such as if you want to make fruit roll-ups or fruit leathers. And also these sheets are really important for people into living in raw foods to make things like crackers and breads and other things that are too runny or gooey to dehydrate on the standard mesh sheet. So I highly encourage you to order these when you get your Excalibur dehydrator, if you even think you're going to do it, because you do get a better deal if you order them with your Excalibur dehydrator. So I hope you've enjoyed this comparison of the Excalibur 4 tray 2400 model, the 2500 model, and the 3500 model, and the Excalibur 2900 and 3900 model. In addition to this demonstration, we have an informative dehydrator comparison charts on the website discountjuicers.com that you could check out, that basically spells out everything in a table form so you can see all the differences, cost per square foot for drying space, everything like that, all the specs all in one place. Makes it really easy to compare all the Excalibur brand dehydrators plus the other brand dehydrators that we offer. So once again, this is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.